Hi, this is Chris at handfulofTranquility.com. I want to do a quick video on this Vacmaster vacuum sealer I have. I've had it for a few months now. I've only used it a couple times, but I wanted to do some vacuum sealing of some sausage I cooked over the Christmas holiday. That way I can enjoy it for months to come, kind of like this ribeye steak that I'll be enjoying for dinner here in a couple days. I've had that steak for about 5 or 6 months now. That's kind of the reason I got the vacuum sealer, is I got a really good deal on some meat. So I'm more than paid for the vacuum sealer with the savings I got on the meat. Anyhow, let's get to the video. The vacuum sealer also comes with this little accessory kit, which has a replacement double bar sealing device, new high temperature tape to go over the sealing bar, as well as a new seal for the unit itself. It uses a standard desktop power cord, except it's got a 90-degree angle connector on it just so it's more convenient. But if you find that the 4 feet or so, maybe 5 feet or so is too short, you can find longer cords meant for computers. I have about a 9-foot one, I think, for the desktop I have at home. So also, if you lose your cord or damage it somehow, replacements will be easy to come by. Alright, press the on button to turn it on. 4 is the seal time. You may use more or less depending on what you're doing. Remember, it's got the double bar seal, so you'll be able to validate. Even if one is bad, the other one should be good. But if that's the case, I usually do a second seal, because it does have a seal-only option. This bag's actually one that I've already used. It's one of the ones that I had my steak in. That's why it's a little crinkly. These bags are by far the cheapest I've found. They're on Amazon. They have the full pattern to them. You have to have the pattern if you're using this type of sealer. A chamber sealer can use just a solid smooth bag, but an external sealer like this, you have to have some sort of pattern on it to let the air suck out. So, open it up, place the bag in, make sure it goes into the sealing area, close the lid, and you will frequently have to hold down pretty good until the vacuum starts to pull. And it actually says press down and hold lid until the vacuum/seal cycle engages. That's when it has a good enough vacuum. It'll count down from 9, which doesn't really mean anything, because if it hadn't sucked all the air out, it'll just pause at 2 until it realizes all the air sucked out, and then it'll go to 1 and start the seal cycle. So, it pops up when the vacuum is released. That's a nice, very nice seal right there, so we're going to leave it at the 4-second setting and finish up what's left. If you have a whole lot of air in there, it'll count down slowly, and like I said, pause at 2. Otherwise, if you quickly suck out all the air, it just speeds through the numbers. This is rated. This has got, I believe, an oil-cooled pump. It says to wait at least 20 seconds between cycles, and it's really talking more, I think, about the heating element. So even if you're not vacuum sealing, don't do your second seal right away. Wait at least 20 seconds. This thing will go for quite a while. I wanted one that would be rated to go for quite some time. I want to do a couple more tips. Make sure that the bag is flat and goes over this sealing foam right here, but try not to go too far. Go as little as you possibly can. That way you can cut the seal off and reuse the bags multiple times. It'll work just fine if you stick it in all the way like this, but then that'll be an extra inch of bag that you have to cut off and can't use. So pull it back around here. Again, another very good seal. Another thing is, if you're using anything that has any liquid to it or is hard to get in the bag and it's big, make sure you wipe the bag off so it'll get a good seal. When I was doing my steaks, I had to wipe the bag pretty good, because some of them were about as big as the opening, and they'd leave just a little bit of juice even though they were frozen, or they'd leave just a little bit of fat on there, and that could interfere with the seal quite a bit. Doesn't take much, so make sure you wipe that down so it's nice and clean. And in just a couple minutes, I have all my andouille sausage, or andouille, I'm not sure. All my spicy Cajun sausage vacuum packed, ready to go. I have 3 more packs of Italian sausage in the freezer already. And I really like this thing. It should be good for years to come. Feels like it's very well built. The thing weighs probably 15 pounds or more. It's very solidly constructed. It does actually have a marinade and accessory option, as well as a pulse, which the pulse lets you control how much vacuum there is. I haven't had a chance to use the marinade. From my understanding, it'll vacuum and then release pressure, and then vacuum and release pressure to get the marinade real deep in the meat. The accessory port, I actually bought a Food Saver jar sealing thing and verified it is the same size as the Food Saver. It did work. It doesn't pull in a strong enough vacuum for my liking. It will put a lid on a jar, but not real securely. I mean, you can pop it off with your fingers, but it will put a lid on there. I don't really intend on using the lid sealer again, but I do intend on getting a marinating container so I can use the marinating function. Hope you enjoyed it.